Australia is changing fast. The cities you once thought of as regional backwaters are now booming with growth, innovation, and investment. Some are even outpacing the traditional giants like Sydney and Melbourne. But what's really driving this rapid urban transformation? And what does it mean for everyday Australians, investors, and policymakers? In today's video, we dive deep into the fastest-growing cities in Australia. We'll unpack the forces behind the boom and what lies ahead. Let's begin with a question. What makes a city grow? The answer isn't as simple as population numbers. It's about jobs, infrastructure, housing, climate, migration, and a fair bit of political vision. Australia's fastest-growing cities are case studies in all of these. Over the past decade, Australia's population has grown by over 3.7 million people, roughly the equivalent of adding a new Sydney. But this growth hasn't been evenly spread. While Sydney and Melbourne still dominate in raw numbers, their growth rate is now being dwarfed by regional cities and coastal hubs. Each of these cities saw population growth rates exceeding 2% annually, compared to Sydney's modest 1.1% and Melbourne's 1.5%. Why? Because cost of living pressures, housing affordability, remote work, and lifestyle preferences are reshaping where Australians choose to live. Let's explore. 1. Melton, Victoria's new frontier. At number 1, Melton isn't what most people picture when they think of booming Australia. Located just 35 kilometers west of Melbourne, it was once considered part of the rural fringe. But now, it's growing faster than any other local government area in the country. Between 2016 and 2023, Melton added over 50,000 residents, a growth of more than 37%. If it continues on this trajectory, it could have more residents than Darwin within a decade. So, what's driving Melton's growth? 3 key factors. Affordability. The median house price in Melton remains under $500,000 compared to over $900,000 in Melbourne. For first home buyers and young families, that matters. Infrastructure. State and federal governments are investing billions in road upgrades, new schools, and the Melbourne Airport rail link, which will cut travel times to the CBD. Diversity of population. Melton has become a magnet for migrants from South Asia, Africa, and the Pacific Islands. This demographic dynamism is creating a vibrant, multicultural city in the making. But with growth comes challenges. Urban sprawl, traffic congestion, and infrastructure bottlenecks are already emerging. The question is whether Melton can manage its growth sustainably, or if it'll become another cautionary tale. 2. Rockingham, Western Australia's sleeping giant. Next on the list is Rockingham, a coastal gem just 45 minutes south of Perth that has quietly emerged as one of Western Australia's fastest-growing urban centres. Once overshadowed by trendier neighbours like Fremantle and Mandurah, Rockingham has undergone a remarkable transformation in recent years. Between 2016 and 2023, its population swelled by over 20%, reflecting a surge of interest from families, young professionals, and investors alike. So, what's fueling Rockingham's boom? First, strategic location. Positioned near the Henderson Marine Precinct and within reach of the upcoming Westport Freight Hub, Rockingham is fast becoming a logistics and defense powerhouse. With the federal government significantly boosting naval operations in the Indo-Pacific, Rockingham's proximity to defense infrastructure is no accident. This city is poised to play a key role in national security. Second, lifestyle appeal. Rockingham offers pristine beaches, a relaxed coastal atmosphere, and housing that's far more affordable than inner Perth. In a state grappling with rising property prices and rental shortages, Rockingham stands out as a viable alternative. Third, a generational shift. Millennials and young families priced out of Perth are migrating south for more space, better value, and a quieter pace of life. Still, challenges remain. High youth unemployment and economic reliance on defense and mining sectors leave Rockingham vulnerable to future shocks. Its long-term growth will depend on whether it can diversify its economy and develop beyond its traditional industries. 3. Logan, Queensland's next powerhouse. Logan is often misunderstood. Nestled between Brisbane and the Gold Coast, it has long carried a heavy burden of negative media portrayal, frequently associated with crime, poverty, and social disadvantage. But peel back the stereotype, and a very different story emerges. One of explosive growth, strategic positioning, and future promise. Let's look at the numbers. Between 2016 and 2023, Logan welcomed over 60,000 new residents. That's more than the entire population of Hobart, and more than Darwin has gained over the same period. If current trends hold, Logan could be home to more than 500,000 people by 2035, making it one of the largest local government areas in the country. So what's driving this transformation? First, location. Logan sits in the heart of the southeast Queensland growth corridor, the region at the center of Australia's urban expansion. It's strategically connected to both Brisbane and the Gold Coast, with major transport links that support commuting, logistics, and trade. Second, housing development. Logan is home to vast greenfield sites, and developers have moved quickly. Master-planned communities like Yarra Bilba and Flagstone are springing up with modern infrastructure, schools, parks, and shopping centers, offering an attractive package for young families and new migrants. Third, the Olympics effect. With Brisbane set to host the 2032 Olympic and Paralympic Games, billions in infrastructure spending is flowing into the region. Logan is a key beneficiary. Transport upgrades, housing expansion, and investment in public amenities are all accelerating. Yet the question persists. Can Logan rewrite its narrative? That will depend on more than roads and houses. True transformation requires investment in education, healthcare, and community cohesion. It requires deliberate planning that ensures growth doesn't come at the expense of equity. Logan has the momentum. Whether it becomes a model city or another urban cautionary tale will be shaped by the decisions made over the next decade. 4. Sunshine Coast, the coastal boomtown. Few places in Australia exemplify the lifestyle migration trend quite like the Sunshine Coast. Once known primarily as a sleepy beach retreat for retirees and holidaymakers, this coastal region in Queensland has undergone a profound transformation. Today, it stands as one of the country's most dynamic regional cities, with a population nearing 400,000 and projections suggesting it could reach 550,000 by 2041. But the secret to its success goes far beyond sun, surf, and sand. The real engine of the Sunshine Coast's growth lies in its strategic pivot toward innovation and infrastructure. First, technology. In 2020, the region became home to the only direct international broadband connection to Asia from the east coast of Australia, via a subsea cable. This has dramatically enhanced its appeal to digital businesses, enabling ultra-fast, low-latency internet speeds that rival those in major capital cities. It's helped create a thriving tech ecosystem, attracting startups, data-driven companies, and remote workers seeking both connectivity and lifestyle. Second, healthcare. The opening of the Sunshine Coast University Hospital in 2017 marked a turning point. Not only is it one of the largest health infrastructure projects in Queensland's history, but it's also the centerpiece of a growing health and education precinct that's driving professional employment, research, and training. Third, innovation and remote work. The COVID-19 pandemic acted as a tipping point. As flexible work arrangements became the norm, thousands of professionals left congested capital cities in search of a better quality of life. The Sunshine Coast, offering beaches, hinterlands, and modern amenities, became a magnet for this wave of lifestyle migration. Small businesses and digital nomads alike now call it home, fueling a vibrant and diversified local economy. However, success brings its own pressures. Housing prices have surged, pricing out many longtime locals. Transport and public infrastructure are straining to keep up with the rapid influx. And environmental pressures are mounting, as urban development encroaches on natural ecosystems. Still, few places better reflect Australia's shifting urban future: decentralized, digitally connected, and lifestyle-oriented. The Sunshine Coast is no longer just a holiday town. It's a case study in regional reinvention. 5. Greater Jalong, Victoria's comeback kid. Once a declining manufacturing hub, Jalong has rewritten its story in remarkable fashion. Situated just 75 kilometers southwest of Melbourne, this once industrial city, long known for car factories and aluminium smelters, is now one of the fastest-growing regional centers in Australia. With a population approaching 300,000 and forecasts suggesting it could hit 500,000 by 2050, Jalong has become a poster child for economic and urban reinvention. So, what's driving this regional renaissance? First, deindustrialization followed by strategic reinvention. When automotive giant Ford closed its Jalong plant in 2016, it marked the end of an era. Likewise, Alcoa's exit from the local economy dealt a heavy blow. But rather than sink, Jalong pivoted. In place of manufacturing, the city has welcomed a wave of investment in education, healthcare, tourism, and government services. Deakin University has grown into a major employer and innovation driver, while the relocation of several state government departments from Melbourne to Jalong has brought high-quality jobs to the region. Second, commuter connectivity. Improvements in regional rail and road links have transformed Jalong into a viable commuter city. With V-Line trains offering fast, regular service to Melbourne's Southern Cross Station, many urban professionals now choose to live in Jalong and work in the capital. Some even dub it Melbourne's Brooklyn, a once gritty outpost now rebranded as edgy, creative, and increasingly desirable. Third, affordable family living. Compared to Melbourne, Jalong offers larger homes, open green spaces, and a more relaxed lifestyle, all at a significantly lower cost. For families priced out of inner-city real estate, Jalong represents both a practical and aspirational alternative. But rapid growth hasn't come without friction. Many long-term residents now voice concerns over gentrification, rising housing costs, and the potential loss of Jalong's working-class identity. As young professionals and investors flood into the area, rental prices have surged, and once affordable neighborhoods are transforming. At the same time, infrastructure hasn't kept pace. Schools are reaching capacity, public transport options are strained, and healthcare services are under pressure. Yet despite these growing pains, Jalong remains one of the clearest success stories in modern Australian regional planning. Its evolution from post-industrial decline to future-ready city showcases what's possible when local governments, industry, and communities commit to long-term transformation. If managed well, Jalong could become not just a Melbourne satellite, but a strong, independent urban force in its own right. The cities we've discussed today aren't just growing. They represent a deeper shift in Australia's economic geography. The old model, where jobs were centralized in Sydney or Melbourne, is breaking down. Post-COVID remote work has enabled a geographic dispersal of talent. Skilled professionals are choosing lifestyle cities where they can get more house, more nature, and more time. And cities like the Sunshine Coast, Jalong, and Logan are the winners. There's also international migration. While major cities still attract the lion's share, many new migrants are bypassing traditional metros and heading directly to fast-growing regional hubs, where jobs are abundant and housing is more affordable. For example, in Melton, nearly 60% of new arrivals in 2022 were born overseas. In Logan, over 215 languages are spoken. Australia's immigration policy is now shaping not just how many people come, but where they settle. So, why does any of this matter to you? If you're an investor, these cities offer growth potential that's simply not available in overheated metro markets. Smart money is already flowing into land, commercial property, and build-to-rent projects in places like Melton and Rockingham. If you're a first home buyer, these cities represent hope, an opportunity to escape the rent trap and actually build equity. But act fast, because prices in these cities are rising fast. If you're a policymaker or urban planner, the lesson is clear. The future of Australia doesn't lie in its past megacities alone. The next decade will be defined by how well we build up our second-tier cities, with sustainable housing, efficient transport, and inclusive communities. If you're just an average Australian, this means your life is changing, subtly but significantly. The neighborhoods you knew are transforming. The jobs, schools, and transport networks you rely on are evolving. The national story is no longer written solely in Sydney and Melbourne. It's being shaped in places like Logan, Melton, and the Sunshine Coast. The fastest-growing cities in Australia are more than just statistics. They are harbingers of a new national direction, decentralized, multicultural, and multinodal. But this growth comes with responsibilities. The challenge now is to ensure that infrastructure keeps up with people, that communities remain inclusive, and that growth is not just fast, but fair. Because the cities we build today will define the country we become tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Let me know in the comments. What city do you think will lead Australia's next growth wave? Until next time.